I'd like to share with you my method of making kimchi. There's hundreds of varieties of kimchi made throughout Korea. I became interested in making kimchi for the benefits of the probiotics. I found it was difficult to find some of the specialty ingredients. So what I decided to do was, I decided that I'd make my own version using ingredients that you could find almost anywhere in the States. After I made my kimchi, I took it to a party and experimented on my friends. And I was really surprised to find out that a lot of people really liked it and had several requests on how to make it. And so that was the genesis of this video. I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching. These are the things that you'll need to make your kimchi. Some spring water, a large measuring cup and measuring spoons, about 5 or 6 red radishes, 2 carrots, 5 or 6 cloves of garlic, a small piece of ginger, a large onion, some kosher salt, chipotle pepper and paprika, about 2 pounds of bok choy, a large non-reactive bowl. I got this one at the local thrift store. And you'll need some sort of weight to put on top of the kimchi while it's fermenting. Wash and then cut up the carrots, the radishes, the onion, and the bok choy. After you've finished chopping up the vegetables, you want to place them into the non-reactive bowl. Make the salt brine, and what you want to do is you want to add 1 tablespoon of kosher salt to a 2-cup container. And then add 2 cups of your spring water. Stir. Add that to your vegetables. And then repeat that process. Okay, we have the vegetables covered with the salt water. And what I'm going to do is I just want to push them down a little bit, and you want to cover them with a heavy weight and let them sit overnight at room temperature, around 70 degrees. And you'll see that in a very short amount of time the water will actually seem to increase And you may have to pour some of it off. In fact, you may want to put a little pan under the bowl while it sits overnight because it's possible it overflows. After your vegetables and the salt brine have sat overnight, you'll see that there's more water, and you'll need to pour just a little bit of that off, but maybe half a cup or so. You want to make sure that it still covers the vegetables. After you've removed the excess water, you need to run your garlic through a garlic press, and finally chop up the ginger, and you want to add that to your mixture. After you've added the garlic and the ginger, the next step is to add about a half a teaspoon of chipotle pepper, and then about a teaspoon and a half of paprika, mix the spices and the ginger around in the bowl. Okay, and then just make sure they're covered with the brine. And the last step is to put a weight on top of your kimchi while it's fermenting. Put your kimchi in a cool place to ferment for about 2 weeks. I live in the Northeast. I put mine in the basement, and my basement's about 65 degrees in the fall, winter, and spring. You can check on your kimchi every 3-4 days and see how it changes flavor and how the texture changes. 2 weeks have passed, and I'm ready to jar my kimchi. You'll notice that the vegetables are still covered with salt brine. The color has changed a little bit, and you'll also notice there's a little bit of white mold growing on top of the kimchi. You can just rinse or scoop that off. It's perfectly safe. This is a very acidic environment, and bad bacteria won't grow here. After my kimchi is finished fermenting, I jar it. I just save old wide-mouth jars. And all you need to do is scoop it into the jar, pour some brine on top of it. You want to make sure that the brine is covering the vegetables. And you can keep it in your refrigerator for as long as 6 months. That's probably the maximum amount of time that I've stored it, and it's been just fine. My kimchi recipe is in the window below the video. A few key things to remember. Always use glass or ceramic when fermenting and storing your kimchi. Always keep the vegetables covered with the brine. The more salt that you use, the faster the kimchi will ferment. The warmer the temperature, the faster it will ferment. I encourage you to sample it while it's fermenting, and you can decide on what texture you like, how crunchy or how soft. I would also encourage you to add more or less spices, whatever you like. Customize the recipe and make it your own.